general nerdery.
It's one of those things that because I don't do the editing, I don't necessarily notice until someone points out to me. But I think the trailers episode we just recorded is and even though it won't come out in right order, is our 200th episode of this show.
Probably.
Because like someone was like,
I got to think about how that's going to drop.
It's not important. It's not going to come out in that order. But like they were like, oh, I listened to episode 196, and I had a moment of like, you listened to what? Oh wait, yeah, no, we've done like 4 since then. Welcome to General Nerdery, your podcast about liking things. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
Can we make this one be... I'm Steven, sorry. Can we make this one be the 200th
If we just don't put out trailers for a while, then maybe. But
then they lose its evergreen.
No, though. Yeah, the evergreen.
The trailers, they won't be as prescient. They gotta be fresh.
It made me sit and think because, like, I knew, like, 2 months in advance when episode 100 was coming out. I wanted us to do something about it. We didn't do anything fancy. We just talked about it for a while in the episode. And then this one was just like, oh shit, really?
Well, I knew that it's been coming up, but I also knew that we were in a weird crunch time with episodes. So I was like, fuck it, we'll celebrate 250.
Yay!
Good call. We'll celebrate 250, then we'll celebrate 420. But we hit that 200 pretty quick.
Especially because I did not realize we were counting, and this is not like...
Well, it's because I numbered the trailer.
That's
episodes.
Really what it was, is I was not expecting it to...
Otherwise, we wouldn't be that
We'd
far
be like
along.
205. Not 205, that'd be more.
That'd be more.
155. Yeah.
Still not bad.
It's still, no, I'm not... People have been like, are you podcasting for long? I'm like, I think we've done like, between the various shows, like 500 episodes, so yeah.
Oh my god, dude.
It's not that many, but
no,
it's
like, but just like think about the number of hours of content we've put out.
Every Monday, 4 hours generally that takes us to do this. Sorry, we're breaking Steven's brain here.
Sorry, man. I just love you, listeners. If you're listening to this, I love you so much. Thank you for listening. You fill my heart with joy.
We're confused you're here, but you got the spirit, and we appreciate that.
Mm-hmm. That's what we appreciate about you.
My friend Roar Sean, he was on our Legend of Zelda episode. This is one that was messaging me about this, and he's like, was telling me about he works as an archaeologist, so he'll go out in the field and have like 50-mile hikes over the course of something. And he's like, yeah, I'll just download like 10 episodes of you and then listen to them going. Man, I miss you too, buddy. And I miss you very much, Roar. But like, that's too much of me talking at one given time for anybody.
So Tyler, talk more.
Yeah. Hi, Roar. How's it going?
Hey, buddy.
Hi, Roar. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, we are here for maybe the most fluff movie we've ever watched for this. But I don't necessarily say that as a negative, because this movie fucking ruled.
Oh, yeah. What did we need to be able to turn our brains off to do 2 things in a week that we're now doing 1 thing of?
Yep, that's on me. I fucked up.
Godzilla.
Yeah, Godzilla X Kong, The New Empire, X, the worst title of a movie that I don't know why. I fucking hate this title.
Because I can never say it right. I can never say it right. Every time I've brought this movie up, I go like Kong X... Kong.
I think you called it the Star Empire one time.
Kong Triple X.
Supernova. All over Godzilla.
State of the Union.
With Ice Cube.
So this is the
6th?
5th? 6th. Let's see.
6th.
Godzilla, Kong Skull Island, Godzilla King of Monsters, Godzilla
5th.
versus Kong. So yes, this is the 5th movie in the Monsterverse franchise. We never did cover the first one. It's okay.
We don't need to.
Fine.
It's not. It's good. It's trying too hard to be serious.
Yeah.
And it's really good. And if you want to watch it, you can. But we're not going to cover it because it's not going to be interesting for us to talk about it.
Or at least we're not going to cover it today because we're talking about Godzilla Kong. New
And Tyler's like, hey, let's not cut this shit out.
Hey, we're going to do that on our kaiju podcast that we
Stop
haven't
promising
started.
this podcast that we do not have the time for. We have a name for it.
I'm actually halfway through like coming up with the logo in my mind.
Yeah, no, this has been
Podcast within a podcast. We
Oh
could
my
just do
God.
a General Nutteries presents
Anytime.
Kaiju Cast.
No, I've even because I've become obsessed with at least the visual aspects of tokusatsu, especially over the last year, which is tokusatsu is the Japanese style of filming where it tends to be people in full body costumes and like transformation. So stuff like Power Rangers, the American version, or Kamen Rider, Ultraman, or Godzilla. Any of those kind of movies fall under tokusatsu genre. So as I've been obsessed with those, I will occasionally stop and be like, that'd be a fucking rad thing to do on our podcast that we don't do. But this is the American version, so there's fucking zero depth to it, but
It's awesome. That's really funny. Friend of mine at work just this week, not even knowing we were talking about Godzilla Kong, like just naturally the conversation came up between us and some of our other friends, and it was just like, yeah, then they're talking about some of the different Japanese Godzillas, and it was just like, yeah, so Godzilla is normally the horrors of nuclear war. Unless it's Shin Godzilla, in which case Godzilla stands for the failings of bureaucracy. Unless it's -1, in which case Godzilla's survivor's guilt. And then the dude pops in, he's like, or American Godzilla, where King Kong holds a fucking axe made of Godzilla's fucking scale. It gets breathed on, and he smashes somebody in the face with it.
well,
And we're like, yeah, and it's awesome.
it could also be the 80s where Godzilla is the protector of all children and the innocence of youth for
Right.
some bizarre fucking reason.
Unrelated to that, we're recording this at the start of June, and I just saw a delightful little animation that was retweeted by the official Godzilla Twitter account of stop motion animation of Godzilla accepting their trans Godzuki child, and I was just like, oh yeah, protector of all children.
That is the thing that I knew about this movie before I sat down and watched it. Other than like Tyler being like, this movie's way better than it had any right to be, and you're correct, was
You're right. Good call.
when they first released the trailer for it and we saw Pink Godzilla, I think Tumblr mostly had fun being like, this is proof Godzilla is trans. They've gone from blue to pink. And it made the alt-right so fucking angry.
Which also, I'm trying to remember that's not one that I watched, but the pink is a reference to a different Godzilla. He's done it before.
Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
It's one of the 80s ones, I think. Maybe one of the 70s ones. You have to remember, Godzilla has been running since the 50s.
Yeah.
Because I think the first one was like 55 or something like that.
Godzilla 2000, he goes pink.
Yeah, okay.
Why?
He had to power up, I think, to fight Mechagodzilla.
Oh, I was thinking of a different Godzilla 2000.
You were thinking of the...
Brendan Fraser. Not Brendan Fraser.
Definitely not Brendan Fraser.
That was 1998, and that was Matthew Broderick.
Yes, thank you. And I was completely off base with everything.
Lion King, not the Mummy. Okay, so...
Favorite in these iterations since Kong Skull Island is I'm calling it right there.
Dan Stevens needs to be in every Godzilla movie moving forward.
I'm fine. I'm so fucking
Which
happy.
one's- oh,
we
the
finally
Trapper.
have a cultural touchstone for Dan Stevens for Zach now. That every time we've brought up Dan Stevens, and it's just like this
Legion.
Legion.
The character who is a giant reference to MASH. Okay.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
he's Trapper John.
Yeah, he's Trapper John.
He wears a Hawaiian shirt all the time and a big brimmed hat. And he's a doctor.
Mm-hmm.
And he's kind of a jackass.
Yeah,
I spent this whole movie being like, you are gonna kiss the Kong expert. And nope. Really quickly, I'm like, you're gonna kiss the conspiracy theory guy. And I'm actually way more into that. Their chemistry was legitimately really good in this movie.
Yeah, I really loved them. That's, I think, why this movie works for me. They got the human element right of like,
They dropped Mark.
they drop Mark. We don't need fucking any of that bullshit.
We don't even have Mark's kid anymore to occasionally bring in Mark.
Right.
And like Millie Bobby Brown is a good actress, but her character I never really gave a fuck about.
No.
I still couldn't tell you why she wanted to get into Godzilla. This is like, Godzilla's pretty fucking cool and interesting. But like, what's she up to? Why is she doing this?
Because her mom had a plot about Godzilla in King of Monsters.
There it is. Now I remember. But yeah, no, fucking A. This movie's human subplot was so much better. You got I am forgetting her character name, but the Iwi girl, who's like the last of her tribe from Skull Island.
Gia,
who's like telepathically getting signals and bullshit.
I mean to disrespect none of these actors as they all did a good job. I didn't give a single solitary fuck about any of their names.
Oh yeah, you didn't need to.
And like, I knew their archetypes other than Trapper, and literally just because my wife and I have been talking about MASH the day before.
Yeah, literally my ADHD brain's like, okay, yeah, conspiracy theory guy, crazy vet,
Yep.
boss lady,
Boss lady.
bigger boss lady,
Bigger baby. Okay, yeah.
Mini Kong.
Mini Kong.
Yo, I was not expecting, because from the trailers you show Mini Kong and you show the like him looking like sad big eyes. So I thought I had an idea of how that encounter was going to go,
You
and
didn't
it was
know
not.
that he was a little shit ass?
Yeah, just a little fuck.
And it was not Kong grabbing Mini Kong and beating other people with Mini Kong. Like,
Fuck, this movie's so fucking fun. Although this movie is very gross also, because I sat down to eat breakfast.
They go hard in the paint in this movie. Both Godzilla and Kong end up covered in the blood of their enemies multiple times.
But like in a PG way where it's just like, oh, this just is gross. Not
This is only okay because it's green.
my only
this is
question
only okay because it's green.
is how many entrails do they think are in a random thing? Because like
Middle Earth
he eats
anatomy, don't worry
entrails
about it.
fucking constant, and then he has killed the eel thing. That's basically the eel that Aang wants to ride in that episode of Avatar: The Last Airbender.
It very much is that.
And he like tears it in half, and every time he takes a bite he's pulling out entrails. And like, there's
You need more entrails when you live
sure
that
but
far
just
down.
how much entrails did they fit in that like small part of the
By the way, I didn't realize that Earth is like an onion. There's layers.
it's a glass onion.
Fuck you. Fuck both of you. I love you. That's both of those. 10,000 comedy points for both of you.
That's why no one laughed.
I was just taking psychic damage from how funny it was.
Yeah, it's definite. Like the way Godzilla versus Kong ends, you're like, aha, Kong is the ruler of
The underneath
of Hollow Earth, and Godzilla's the king of Earth, I guess. And in this one, you're like, oh no, Kong's got like a 20 by 20 foot radius that he hangs out in, and like,
Yeah.
he doesn't
He
know
still kind of
shit
technically
about.
rules down there, but like,
And by
ain't
the end of this
happy.
movie, I think more so.
Oh, he absolutely is in charge by the end. But
Which, not to spoil just the end of this movie, but the fucking end of this movie and Kong's ending of this movie did legitimately make me cry.
him having a tribe
Yeah, I was like, oh, he found his home.
of octogenarians and one little guy.
But like, he found fucking people, and like,
True.
they do. I feel like they set up like young babies, right? Don't
yeah, but also like they set up that they potentially live a long time.
yeah.
Scar King is implied to be millions of years old.
But also as old as Kong or Godzilla. So Godzilla's not like, it's not like wild.
We knew Godzilla was ancient. We knew Kong was pretty young for his species, even in Skull Island, which is like 80 years before this. He's just more beat up now because him live a active life.
And like, I feel like the setup here is that like Scar King has been living underground and is now old.
Yeah. But theoretically, Kong could be alive for millions, or at least hundreds of thousands of years.
So I saw somebody point out online that this movie actually explains why Godzilla immediately was hostile towards Kong, because you find out that they waged a war. The last time that he had contact with Kongs was because of a giant fucking war with them.
That makes a lot of sense.
I really liked the bit where we saw the like back history and that they had this war. I do think they need to learn how to actually like portray translation a little
movie.
bit. What?
I want a prequel movie.
Yes.
Of the war? Okay, yes.
Sure. But like, unfortunately, Kong Skull Island has ruined it for me. Because the scene where they tell the history of Kong in that weird fucking room, and it's like the coolest scene in that already rad movie, and anytime they're just like, look at these cool carvings on the I'm like, you're not trying very hard, are you, this version of the EP tribe? Like,
you guys focused way too much on gravity here. You guys you got that on lock. Work on your art skills, baby.
I do like, they're like, obviously no one has been here for 1,000,000 years. Like that. No, you are in the jungle, and that is a very clean staircase right there. Like, people were here like 6 months ago.
People were here this morning.
Like, you
Yeah, like,
This is swept.
Yeah.
Like, they keep this pretty clear. Also, now that I'm thinking about it, what was the point of that?
Well, point of...
The little fucking fountain there in that staircase.
Just to guide someone, I guess. I don't know. It doesn't actually make a whole lot of sense, but they needed like a way to bring them to the... I think it's supposed to be like a test. I don't know. I'm trying really hard here, and you're right.
Yeah, like literally, that's my only complaint I found so far. I don't want to pick too hard at it because, like, this does not seem like a movie you should pick at because it's gonna fall apart. But also, it's a giant fucking gorilla fighting a giant lizard who can absorb nuclear radiation blasts.
Fighting another gorilla who controls
An ice Godzilla.
the ice dragon from fucking Dungeons and Dragons. Like, straight up the one Drist fights in the Drist Doerden novels.
Shimu?
Shamu is a killer whale.
Hey, you tell me you could play killer whale or kaiju.
Tiddlecum.
Kaiju?
Killer whale.
Killer whale that actually killed like 3 people.
Oh, nice.
I shouldn't laugh at that. It's legitimately a really sad story.
Yes, it is.
Oh, God. This movie edged me on Mothra for like the entire time, and I was going to fucking like burn the house down, and I live in that house and I like that house, if they had not actually given us Mothra.
So here's something fun. When you eventually go back and rewatch this movie, nobody says Mothra on screen. It's all ADR. It's all people saying it directly off camera.
Why?
Because they weren't sure that they were going to actually secure the Mothra rights, even though they had them for King of the Monsters. They had an entirely second monster on standby in case the rights weren't.
What was the entirely secondary monster?
Is a
New one?
completely new named Phosphora. You can like look up like a.
Oh, I
I'll
would have been so mad.
I will have to look that up. Yeah, no, that would have pissed me off.
There's one scene in the background you can see Phosphora instead of Mothra in the Iwi carvings.
Oh, interesting.
That's okay. That is rad as hell. I just think, I don't know why Mothra is like far and away my favorite of the giant monsters of the kaiju.
sexiest.
I literally think it's because of the it is a scene from one of the earlier Mothra movies, and it's like one of the straight up Mothra movies where a like very professional looking scientist goes, "We could ask the fairies to have Mothra help us." And this run, see, that's kind of cool. He's just showed me
It's a good
Phosphora,
design.
like, but it's not Mothra.
That's not Mothra. I don't like the eyes on it. It's a little too...
Okay, that one's better still, but like It kind of looks like something that you would ride in Star Wars.
It reminds me of Goliad from Adventure Time.
Oh, I can see that. Yeah.
Or the thin version of it. I don't know. That's where my brain went. Not that important.
No, but the Mothra design remains incredible, and I wish we had gotten more Mothra and Godzilla interacting. Because that was the best part of King of the Monsters.
And now knowing that they weren't sure if they were going to have the rights, I now understand why you have such a limited use of
Mothra.
Yeah. Of just like, well, they didn't know if they were going to use it, so they just like, well, we'll do the very bare minimum and swap it out at the last
and
minute.
hiding it in a cocoon, and then she's going to leave.
Well, because even like that last fight, like Mothra doesn't follow them back to the surface.
No, she just leaves them. They bounce.
Probably
Yeah.
because they didn't know who they were going to have.
Yeah, she's just basically shows up just like, yo, guys, chill out. Don't fight. We got somewhere else to go.
So this is, I had mentioned it before we went into this. This is a very Kong movie, though.
Yes.
For being
It has to
Godzilla
be.
X Kong, it is 75% Kong.
Well, Godzilla versus Kong was mostly Godzilla.
Which I think I like it. I think I stand Kong more than I stand Godzilla. But it, again,
In these
depends on-
movies, for sure.
in these movies for sure. But yeah, it kind of depends on the movie, I think.
I mean, I also love the original King Kong. Like, it is one of my favorite movies.
It's pretty great.
See, I'm super excited for Supernova because they've already said that they're going to reverse it for that.
So it'll be a big Godzilla movie? Great. I actually think that's a really smart idea to swap back and forth.
Yeah, it seems like a safe play of like, we're going to focus on this one, but this one's going to kind of like be here too.
So, I don't know. Maybe my favorite visual of this movie is Godzilla sleeping inside the Coliseum, that he's just adopted that as his, like...
That also like got me rolling at the end of like, oh, Godzilla likes to sleep there like a little kitty cat.
But what's funny to me is when I was like, he's like destroying large parts of Rome to like get to the Colosseum and take a nap. And I'm like, yeah, good for you, buddy. But when they were destroying the pyramids, I'm like resisting throwing things at the TV, being like, that is a World Heritage Site. You can't do that. Like,
And I was like, that whole scene, I was like, oh shit, dude, did the Egyptians know that they were building pyramids right on top of these, or right next to these hollow earth portals?
did you catch? So I don't know. I don't know how much you guys. I know Tyler knows some of this. Know like weird conspiracy theory about like ancient astronauts, ancient civilizations.
I know of them, I don't know them.
So the conspiracy theorist guy who, side note, I love that vest he has. I just want that vest. It was just a jean vest with a bunch of...
I really lost the thread there, and I thought about a different conspiracy theorist guy. I was like, he's not wearing a vest. The one in this movie we're talking about, yes.
You thought I was talking about the aliens guy?
I was. I honestly was.
But, okay. So, but the conspiracy theorist guy from this movie was when they're looking at the ancient civilization that looks like it's about 40 days old, was like, this is older than Lemuria and Mu. Do you know what those are?
No.
Okay. They're bonkers, and they're a lot of fun, and it only sometimes comes out anti-Semitic, so it's one of the better conspiracy theories. Sorry, man. All conspiracy theories eventually
Lead back to anti-Semitism.
But so
that I knew.
So the idea was before we realized that all the continents used to just be one continent, people were confused by the idea that there were lemur skeletons, like matching skeletons on American shores and African shores. And they were like, okay, why the fuck are we finding the same species on these two different continents? What's going on? And they went, what if there was another continent at one point in between? Like that sunk. And, you know, from a science perspective, it's not the worst theory in the world. And it got dubbed Lemuria because it's lemurs. Literally Lemuria.
So fucking dumb. I love it.
And then it got connected to Atlantis, and then conspiracy theorists got it and started connecting it to like Atlantis and stuff. And when people went, but why would it be called Lemuria? Because that was what scientists named it after lemurs. And they went, oh, it was also known as Mu. M-U.
MU.
But then they went back to Lemuria because Mu is a bad name.
Why Moo? I missed the thread there.
I don't know. But if you get really deep into the...
I don't know, but move you along.
But if you get really deep into the Lemuria conspiracy theories, there is a belief that Lemuria and Atlantis were ancient races of man that got into nuclear war with each other hundreds of thousands of years ago. And also in some versions, they dress like it's 1950s America.
I don't know what to
And
do
when it
with this
happened, they
information.
went into these shelters, and when the planet became disirradiated, they popped back out, and there was ghouls, and oh wait, not Fallout.
It's pretty Fallout.
That one I'm here for. That let's leave everything Zach was talking about behind. And tell me more, Tyler.
I know that everything I just said is dumb, and that's why I enjoy it. Like, it's funny to read some of this and be like, what? And they were powered by crystals? I'm not joking on that part either. But the moment he's like, this is older than Lemuria and Mu, one means that it's already Lemuria and Mu is like around at the cradle of civilization. Like, before humans were inventing cities, they're like, here's these great... We weren't even fucking fully upright by that point. And then he's saying it's older than that. So
weren't.
basically, like, we hadn't come down from the trees yet in this version, and making the EP tribe, who also have apparently not changed as a culture in like 1,000,000 years.
Well, they got those big ass crystals.
You don't need to when you already have gravitational technology.
I am just saying, like, they...
Plus dope ass big crystals. Even if you don't have gravitational
It just
technology
seems stagnant
around it.
to me. That's all I'm saying. That said, like, I actually do appreciate the moment where recording guy, and they kind of just dropped this, and I wish they hadn't, but the conspiracy guy is recording the tribe and getting the information, and I was like, yeah, that's super cool. This is legitimately interesting. And Trapper shows up being like, you shouldn't be doing this. Like, never has it been good for a tribe like this when they didn't say white people, but when white people show up.
Right. Which, like, you can't unring that bell. You guys have already shown up. I feel like you got a couple other white people with you that are going to be a bigger problem than
Well, no,
this
it's okay, because the one that
conspiracy theory
would have been a problem got eaten.
Actually, yeah, he's probably the biggest problem.
He died real fast, too.
Which, honestly, I expected him to last a little longer than
Nope.
that.
They were like, well, we're going to have a shithead army guy. He's going to die, but we don't really feel like putting up with him, so we'll kill him fucking first scene.
Mhm.
Which, like, harkening back to some of my favorite bits of Kong Skull Island was them traipsing through Kong Skull Island and just, like, all of the fucking weird flora and fauna there of being fucked up.
I will say the thing that made me laugh is, okay, so they've got their weird flying bug ship.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
They land the weird flying bug ship. They disappear. The soldier man dies, and you really get the sense that, like, I didn't get the feeling that anyone else could necessarily drive the weird flying bug ship at that point. And they just keep going.
I think didn't they not land the ship there because they were like had some turbulence?
Sure.
I feel like they landed the ship because they were unsure of whether or not they could fly it, regardless if anybody else knew how to.
My point is, like, we go through that. We go through the whole, like, walking through the jungle for a significant amount of time.
Mm-hmm.
We discover the EP tribe. We do the whole thing there. And then when it's time to give Kong his super rad power glove, Trapper just fucking, like, teleports back to the entry point and shows up with his flying yellow version of the really cool
Well, that one was in the arsenal to move Project Powerhouse.
Sure, but like the speed that they're like, oh my god, we're so far away, we're trapped alone in this jungle, and then like, yeah.
Well,
We
he
need it
says
for a
he's going to
plot
take the heave or whatever.
Okay.
And we know that he can drive some things because he's driving the thing that he uses to switch the tooth.
That's fair. It just felt like it went really, like that shift over was really
Was he
fast.
driving that? I thought there was another person.
No, because he
driving
was hanging from it, so he wasn't driving it, was he?
And
I thought it, but they don't ever show anybody else. I thought it was something
no,
like
they
a
show
man
a scene
left.
with like a second guy. Like he was like, "You're good to go down,"
Oh.
and then like he goes down, or something like.
I feel
that,
like we're way deep in the woods here, and that's my fault.
You know what we're doing? We're picking out a movie we shouldn't pick at because this movie's fun. And we don't need to think about it. Don't worry about how we got from point A to point B. There's a giant fucking gorilla, Zach.
The line, there's like 12 of them.
I will say this. You did bring me to a thought I had while watching this, is that this movie does a great job with setups and payoffs throughout it, of like setting up the heave, having the camouflage, and like seeing these weird predator bird
Oh yeah, the
kaiju things that
Yeah, the
like
lightning bird things.
bird things that like trappers like,
Which
oh yeah,
I feel like we saw in the last movie too. Like I think they are bringing back some of those.
yeah, but like setting that up to then have that payoff with a bigger thing in the end, with Trapper bringing them in to slow down the Scar King, and then like a radio broadcast talking about how Project Powerhouse was being scrapped because it was too much discretionary funds being spent without knowing what exactly would be going to, and the dangers of making Kong stronger.
And then they make Kong stronger.
To then have Powerhouse like be the MacGuffin type setup of like, oh, he's got this frostbite, his arm's fucked up. Don't worry, we'll fix it.
Cece has already quoted at me like 6 times. It's worse than bad. It's frostbites. Just the dumbest line in any of these movies.
Yes, it's pretty dumb. But this movie is dumb, and I love it. It's fun.
No, it's exactly what it's supposed to be. I almost think that's not right to say, but there's almost too much kaiju versus people in this movie. Like, borderline. I found myself in the big CGI fight scene of Godzilla and Kong together versus Ice Dragon and Scar King. My attention started to wander at a while after that, but I also like, we spend all of these movies being like, give us less people, give us more kaiju, that's what we're here for. So it just kind of made me respect like what a fine line it has to be to make these fucking movies.
And then on that same note, it did remind me of something else I was thinking of watching it on my second time through, was this movie I felt did a really good job of trying to convey pathos of kaiju in a way that it didn't have to really necessarily give you a lot of like, none of them are speaking. They don't have dialogue. But like I get an idea of what Kong is communicating to Mini Kong.
And that's what I like about the more Kong heavy movies, and it's admittedly just easier to do when it's the face of a kind of gorilla. Because we recognize the emotions a lot easier. It's easier to make those emotions on something that's vaguely humanish as opposed to big lizard.
Exactly. I also noticed this while like the setup of the tooth getting pulled, him meeting the Scar King was like, look at this fucking asshole. He doesn't have all his original teeth.
He got help from the people.
What a fucking chump.
Although I have to be like, how would the fuck would the Scar King know that he got that from the people? He'd most likely be like, what a weird fucking tooth you've got, man. Like,
yeah, like I feel like that's probably it. Is that he's like, look at this asshole. He doesn't have his original teeth is probably the long and short of it.
I'm blind as shit, but that's fine.
To then have the little joke when like he gets punched out in that final scene and loses a tooth, and Kong, and it's just a cut to a Kong just like,
Yep, gotcha.
fuck you. And like Kong doesn't say anything, Scar King doesn't say anything, but like I understand what they're conveying, and I feel like
does have that amused nod like 6 times in this movie.
they do
Like,
they do they
the like
lean on that.
eyebrow flick kind of thing.
Yeah, they lean on that one a little heavy, but I feel like they really did a really good job of not having to force dialogue or force, but still conveying a lot of emotion and thoughts and presence.
A little thing I noticed, and I love I noticed it the very first time I watched this movie, and every time I've seen it since, I still just love the little detail of when it gets into the big fight at the end, and you have like the 0G sequence, that Godzilla just immediately knows what he's doing.
Yeah,
because he's used to fighting in water. Everyone else has like a second of like, oh fuck. And they catch on pretty quick, but even like both of the Kongs, they're having to tend to like stop and like reset themselves on like the little floating rocks and stuff, and then go back at it. Godzilla's just like, bounce, bounce, bounce. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to throw you over here.
Just like, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you. I'm cool. Fuck you.
Trying to think. I had something that I was going to say, and then it's just, okay.
I did too, and then I lost it.
Apparently, the novelization confirms that the reason King Ghidorah was in ice is that either Shimo or one of Shimo's species helped Godzilla when they fought in the past.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, that was the thing I was going to bring up, is the fucking rad. I guess it's a whip, but because it's made out of bones, Cece was like, is this some fucking Ivy from Soul Calibur bullshit? And like, that's what I thought of every time. The whip with Shimo's magic crystal.
Spine whip thing. Yeah, I'm pretty fucking baller.
Yeah, it was real fucking cool.
What was that? Did it ever really get explained? But it was some sort of crystal that...
It's a magic crystal.
It was just a crystal that caused pain to Shimo for some reason?
You could use it to control Shimo on some level, and he used it to cause pain to Shimo, is what I got from it. But
that's kind of pretty much what I got. Fuck me, did also, I love when Mini Kong got in there with that big axe and just like, you know what? Fuck this thing.
I don't know. When he dropped the rocks on them or whatever while escaping. It's my personal favorite.
I did grow to love Mini Kong.
Yeah, he's got a name. I can't remember what it is. I've seen it when I was looking up stuff.
It's Diddy.
It's...
They call him Mini Kong in a couple of the subtitles on Netflix.
I wasn't sure.
Suko.
Interesting.
Sure. I wasn't sure. I'm going to keep calling him Mini Kong. I wasn't sure if I was going to like Mini Kong, and literally it's the fact that he's a shit ass that made me...
That won me, yeah.
What a little shit ass.
What a little shit ass.
Immediately a piece of shit to him. I'm like, yes!
Somehow that reminded me of the thing that I wanted to talk about. It is picking at the seams of this movie.
That's fine.
But... So when Godzilla's powering up, he's juiced up from the France nuclear reactor. He goes up to the Arctic Circle to
Tiamat.
To Tiamat, and like there's a bit of expositional dialogue of like, oh, he's a powerhouse. Like he has the largest stored power cell of like any amount of energy on Earth. If Godzilla gets this, I don't know if there's anything that could stop him. And then Godzilla just like shows up and just like they don't even show him.
Yeah, we don't get the fight scene with Tiamat.
It's just like, oh, Tiamat's like wrapped up around him. Oh yeah, Godzilla's juiced up. You guys realize like he's like doesn't look. Oh, giant laser beam.
He's taking the steroids. Also, the bit where they're like, radar's down. We can't see what's in front of us. We know that the two kaiju are fighting in front of us, and we have no way of detecting them. Take us in. Like. No. Like you are bad at your job, sir.
You have a lot of people on your ship who probably don't want to die. Don't go in there.
Oh man. Yeah, this movie is only like 20% Godzilla, but whenever he shows up, he's just like, fuck you, I'm gonna kill you. How about I just laser your face off again?
Yeah, like
that's what you want from Godzilla.
I like that that's what this movie's setting up that Godzilla is doing. He's literally just like, fuck this Titan, you're fucking up too much. Fuck that Titan, you're fucking up too much. And I'm gonna fuck up this Titan.
So I do think it's fun that... It seems to be that one of the only reasons they have the Tiamat sequence is to give a good excuse for him to suck up enough energy to transform him, because they can't have him do the action sequences that they need him to do with the original OG Godzilla body shape. When he comes out, he's like his limbs are longer and stuff. There's a very brief like computer panel that they show, and it shows all of his different like musculature changes and stuff.
Oh shit, that's interesting.
And you'll note like his body proportions are different when he comes out of.
It's how he moves different too.
This movie is fucking dense with like references and like.
It is a very well thought out movie for a movie that is as light on like plot or deeper meaning.
Right.
And I don't even necessarily say that's a bad thing, but like there's some, you know, as you said,
I think that plays a lot into its favor, in all honesty, is how much they give a shit about like the general like lore, even though none of it needs to make sense. It has to make certain amount of sense. But like there was points where I was like, oh, Hollow Earth, this seems like some fucking nonsense bullshit. It's like, Steven, you're watching a sci-fi movie.
yeah.
It is nonsense.
And Hollow
It is
Earth is one of the cooler sci-fi concepts. Like
Yeah. You're watching the giant monkey fight the giant lizard. Shut up, Steven.
Or ride the giant lizard in this case.
And have a smaller giant monkey ride your shoulder.
Just kaiju all the way down.
You know, when they're starting in on the big final battle, and it's both big monkeys and both big lizards like running at each other, and at the last second, Kong sort of like jumps onto the side of Godzilla, so it's kind of like he's riding him for a second, like the Scar King is riding Shimo. And in my head, I like to think that like afterwards, Godzilla like gives him an extra little tap to get him back for that. Like,
Just, fuck you.
fuck you.
Yeah, it's just like one last thing. It was just like, oh yeah. Puff, punch in the face.
It's that bit in the Avengers where Thor and Hulk are like standing over Loki, and Hulk punches Thor out of the building.
Yeah.
Yes, exactly.
It's like, oh, so fuck you. I noticed what you did there.
I was gonna let it go because we had bigger fish to fry, but now I'm going to return the favor.
I am still your boss. So jumping back to the humans for a sec, they have this whole plot line of like this girl does not belong in human civilization, or not in human civilization, but in like modern civilization. She belongs with her tribe.
Right.
And like I was like, oh, there's like conversation about colonialism going on. And as I mentioned, this is not the only time they try to kind of bring up that bit, but they never, it is the one place where they don't commit to the bit.
Oh, see, I didn't even think that they were trying to have a conversation about it because there was no colonialism going on. The Iwi just got wiped off the face of the planet by a storm.
No, but what I mean is like, she's in this culture, she's not adapting well to, you know, school and shit. And then later on with him being like, whatever happens to a tribe anytime that they get exposed to the larger world. Like
I
you're
don't
trying
feel
to do.
like they were even making comment. I feel like that was just commentary, just like
I just thought they were trying to make commentary, and I really was like, yeah, she should stay in Hollow Earth. Like this is a better place for her.
Yeah, she
And then
should
she's
stay
like-
in Hollow Earth, and the woman who runs Hollow Earth should also stay in Hollow Earth with
That's
her.
it, yeah.
You just
But,
come
like-
fucking live with the Iwi tribe. It's not like you're not going to want to fucking research them. Just go
Anyway.
live with them. Just go live with them. But also, like,
It just felt like they were setting up that she's having problems in the real world, and then they don't actually bother to do anything to like fix those problems.
well, she
It's just a plot line that she
stopped
has
getting
them.
psychic signals from the Iwi underneath the Hollow Earth, so now she's fine. That was the whole problem. She actually wasn't having trouble with fitting into society. It was that she was getting telepathic signals from underneath Hollow Earth from giant crystals.
Also, I think the more important thing that they were setting up was the parallel between her and Kong, and that does dovetail at the end of the movie.
That's fair.
where they both find their places.
Yeah, I just don't agree with their choice of like. I agree that she should stay and continue to have a relationship with her mother, but like the rest of it is like, well, okay, you did this just so we could have that scene where she tells her mom, "You belong," or "We belong together."
Yeah. It's weird.
But also, I have seen dozens of movies that touchstone on that same kind of thing, and then don't solve it in the exact same kind of way. It did make me think of, and I don't know why my brain went to this of all stuff, where the mom's like, oh, I made a promise that I would give up anything for her. I just didn't think I was going to be her I would have to give up. And my brain went to the fucking episode of Pokemon where Ash finds like the Pikachu Island and decides that Pikachu would be happier there and tries to just like dip during the night.
You don't dip on Pikachu. You give him the option to dip on you.
Yeah, that's the point. But I was just like, are you going to Ash Ketchum this and just like bounce in the night when she's doing stuff?
Yes.
And the answer was apparently no. But so she's a better person than Ash Ketchum. Congratulations.
Well, he's a child, and she's a full-grown adult who's taking care of another child. I think she's going to be pretty
Who is
rational.
older than Ash. As I said, I don't know why that's where my brain went, but that's where...
It's a reasonable thing for your brain to go to Ash Ketchum and Pikachu. I think about them probably every day. Gotta catch 'em all.
I do wish we could see the news headlines from the next day, because it's a mass casualty event in Rio and Rome and Cairo.
And they don't know how Godzilla saved them. Because they have this thing of like, we're lucky because Godzilla keeps the other Titans at bay.
But Monarch isn't letting people know some of this stuff.
They don't know about
Monarch.
Hollow Earth. Like,
Yeah,
it's
they
openly...
don't. They can't be like, oh yeah, sorry about all the tragedy you're experiencing right now. But do you realize how much tragedy we can't tell you about you didn't experience? Oh, we can't tell you. Secret government.
That's
but like
public.
But public secret government, but like could have been bad. Could have been a lot worse. Doesn't sound good.
Where do they go from here? I'm guessing like space. I mean, because they say supernova, so my brain goes space. But we've already seen King Ghidorah.
Right.
We've already done Mecha Godzilla. So maybe like Space Godzilla or something?
I think so. The two biggest rumors are Space Godzilla and Gigan. They don't.
Gigan would be better of the two.
What's
they don't
Gigan?
have the rights for Gigan.
They would not be the better of the two then.
Then
Don't know if they even have the rights for Space Godzilla.
Yeah, how rights
I'm pretty
work
sure
is-
those rights are really weird in the way that they work, considering they didn't know that they were going to have Mothra for this movie.
I can only imagine they're weird then. All of them.
Gigan is a one-eyed little lizard man with scythes for hands.
Oh, I've seen Gigan.
Yeah. And then there's like Mecha Gigan, who is scary.
Which I've seen more of, I feel somehow. And then Space Godzilla is different than Godzilla?
Yes. I am looking that up real fast to remember what the difference is.
I think he was a clone originally, but I think there's ways to play with that.
Space Godzilla is a Godzilla clone and the main antagonist of the 1994 Japanese film Godzilla vs. Space Godzilla. He is Godzilla with big-ass crystals coming out of his back.
Well, Godzilla supercharged himself from that one from the North Pole.
Wow, I have not looked at Space Godzilla in a while. He is not a strong design.
No.
And now he's overloaded with solar energy, so he explodes into the atmosphere. But it turns out only half of him explodes. So he's still got Earth Godzilla.
That is
Space
a
Godzilla.
borderline sexual Space Godzilla. Okay. I'm sorry, I'm on the Google image search, and the way that it's posed
Well,
is...
don't not show Tyler.
It's just got,
Oh yeah, I
like...
saw it. No, that actually made me think of how much I laughed at the fact that, like, oh my god. The other thing I laughed real hard at is in our introduction to the Scar King, he like saunters out and immediately like JoJo poses.
For reference in this, it's this Space Godzilla, and it's just the illustration has him just like crotch forward.
Yeah, really,
In a way
really
that's
pelvic out. Real just like presenting, this is my penis area.
Hello, I am Space Godzilla. This is my space penis.
I won't show you it exactly, but this is where it is.
So who knows what's gonna happen? Because who knows what fucking rights they even have.
Yeah, that'll be interesting.
Yeah, well, and it is... How crossovers work is a little different in Japan, partly because not always, but tokusatsu companies were a little more willing to work together in some ways than
I feel like we've talked about this, but copyright law in Japan is also fucking weird compared to international copyright law.
copyright law is fucking weird everywhere.
I feel like we talked about it on the Lupin Castle of Cagliostro episode. I am doing a wonderful job of talking today.
You're killing it, buddy.
Really firing at all cylinders.
I don't know if I have much more in this.
Yeah, me either.
It is, as I said, it is a paper-thin plot of a movie. Like, we didn't even say it in this, but basically, Kong discovers a bunch of his species that are trying to destroy the Earth. Kong and Godzilla team up, beat the shit out of that species, and Kong becomes their king. Roll credits.
Kong gets family.
Yeah, there's quote-unquote deeper themes, but like for the most part...
Right. The species themselves are mostly going to try to take over Earth because they have a really shitty dictator for a leader.
Yeah.
And I imagine there's going to be a period where Kong has to beat some sense into them, a little bit of him beating some empathy into them.
Oh, that was the other strange place that my brain went to. When we first see the other Kongs all like forced to work in this mine, I guess.
What are they doing?
Moving rocks
Why?
into the lava
Why?
to move rocks.
Into lava, apparently.
I don't know.
Oh.
It made me think of the fucking Futurama where they get sent to the
Oh my god.
they get sent to the resort planet and it turns out just to be a slave mine or something like that.
That ends up all being run by one Australian man.
Yeah.
And see, it made me think of Planet of the Apes with Woody Harrelson, where they're like, Caesar ends up working at a slave camp.
Woody Harrelson was in one of those movies?
Yeah.
Yeah.
We gotta watch those sometime. I've never seen any of the modern
Tyler's
ones.
Yo, the Caesar trilogy is so good.
in. Yeah.
And that one is so dark.
Yeah.
I'd say, but that's for next time. But no, that's not for next time, because next time we are going back up north. Although I think you said we're farther north than
We're
they are.
further north than
We're
Sudbury.
going back down south up to northern Sudbury.
Not by much, though. We're like 10 miles north of Sudbury.
We're gonna do Shore Sea season 4.
So wait, do we have relatively similar climates then?
Yeah.
So that's fucking weird in context to season 4 and like Sud Vegas and stuff.
I think the biggest difference is that they're close enough. They're not on them, but they're close enough to the Great Lakes that they probably have to deal with like some of those off-lake breezes.
That makes sense.
There's some cold fronts and shit that hit a little different. They're not in an alpine desert like we are, so they probably get more snow than we do.
Mm-hmm. Plus, they're close to the Great Lakes, so they could theoretically go to a fucking lake.
My wife is a gardener. I have heard very much about how we have a fucking weird climate where we live in Montana compared to even places like way farther north than us.
Yes.
Well, and this valley is weird compared to even everywhere directly around us.
Good point. Good point.
We're protected.
Long and short of that, we're watching Shoresy season 4 next episode.
Hell yeah, fuck yeah.
In the meantime, we're your generals of nerdery. I'm Zach.
I'm Tyler.
Dismissed.
This has been a General Nerdery Presents production. If you enjoyed it, please go hit like and subscribe wherever you're listening to it right now. Also, we'd greatly appreciate it if you checked out our other shows over at gnpresents.com. Thank you.